a good, sorry, that just the recording thing just jumped out at me. I do about 10 to 15 hours a week for me personally for any homework. Sometimes more, because sometimes the exams, depending on the weekend that it falls, you might need a little bit more hours, but it really is so flexible. I can do my job, I can do my schoolwork, I can have a life, and it's very feasible.
Good, that's awesome. Now, we've done something really different in online when it comes to exams and assignments. Maybe Stephanie, do you want to tell me what we do with exams and assignments in the online world?
Yeah, it's actually really cool. All assignments and exams are due on Sundays. Exams open up, I believe, for me, I'm in Ontario. So for me, they open up, I think, at 8 in the morning, and then they close at 8 p.m. And then any assignments that you get handed out through the week are also due on Sundays as well. It makes it, pretty easy for you to get it done that way. You have some leeway on when you want to do each assignment.
That's awesome. So if I gave you assignment on Monday night,
Mhm.
do you have to wait until Sunday to send it in, or can you send it in
No.
early?
You can send it in early whenever you want.
Okay. But it has to be in by Sunday,
By
right?
Sunday, yes.
Okay.
At the
Okay.
same time, I think it's at actually 11 p.m. Sundays in Ontario.
Beautiful. Shelley, what did you want to add?
Okay, so there are some assignments that are due during the week, and these are for participation in a non-mandatory class. So we have Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Fridays are non-mandatory classes, but you will have assignments that help your instructor ensure that you did view the information, because they will ask you for assignments to be due the next day. And they're not big assignments, they're just usually chats or something, but they count towards your participation in class for that day. So your major assignments are due on Sundays, but you will have some assignments that are due in order to get participation marks if you did not go to a non-mandatory class.
Nice, good job. So we deliver 2 mandatory classes in the evenings and 3 morning classes, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, the girls that have joined us today don't know this yet, but as of Monday, we have a brand new, incredibly flexible attendance policy that we're really, really excited about. And so what that's going to mean is that you as a student are going to be able to pick the days you want to come to school. So you could pick Monday night or Thursday night. You could pick Monday night and Thursday night. You could pick Tuesday morning and Friday morning. So we're going to be adding a little bit of extra flexibility on going forward. Really sorry, girls, we're not changing your schedule, but on a go forward, we're going to be adding in a whole lot more flexibility so that we can work around work and kids at home and life in general. So you get to select your own days that you're coming to school. Okay. So we're really excited about that. Now, Meg, do you want to tell me a little bit about what it's like in class on a mandatory day when all the students are in Zoom together?
Yeah, I gotta say the first day was a little hectic. It was a little overwhelming. Pardon me, but we do, the teachers and instructors do a really good job of ensuring that everybody, has proper Zoom etiquette of keeping the mics on, using the raised hand options. So it's not usually really chaotic now that we've settled into our routines. So we come into class on like a usual Monday night, and our teacher will go over with us kind of what our game plan is for the day. This is what we're going to do today. And then we go into it. She asks if we have any other stuff that we want to talk about that day. So it's pretty. And then everything, sorry, I guess I should add, everything is divided by a learning plan. So each day has like a specific learning plan. So you log on and you can do kind of days 1, 2, and 3, or just that day's learning plan.
Awesome. Now, Meg, do you ever do any group work Is it hard to do group work because you're online?
No, it's not hard at all to do group work. Your instructor will separate you into breakout rooms. So depending on your class size, sometimes there's just 2 of us, sometimes there's 4. And I think especially with our program, we've become a little community. So we really work together and support each other.
Awesome, thank you. Jessica, you are an alumni student now. That's amazing. So one of my very first online students came through the full addictions program, did a big 6-week practicum, and then got hired. Tell us a little bit about that experience through your program, your practicum. How has that all been for you? I know you have a previous education. Did you find the online world difficult?
I actually found it so much more convenient for me. And that's why I think I got the position I have today, because it was on my flexibility of learning on my time. That when I was in placement, I was like, oh my God, Willis College taught me this. My instructor taught me that I knew exactly what to do. And it really helped me land the position. Even my company was like, they never really hire students. But the fact that I was so well educated that they were so surprised and took me on as a full-time addiction specialist.
That's amazing. So tell me a little bit about your practicum experience. So were you doing, I know our practicum is 6 weeks of full-time hours. So were you doing shift work? Was it kind of Monday to Friday? What was that like for you?
So my position is more like a health, it's frontline work. So I was dealing with at-risk youth who had, so we had different departments. We had mental health, addictions, and legal department. So it was mostly within the addictions, but addictions kind of falls within mental health and legal, which I do have a previous legal background as a paralegal. So when I was working at the practicum, my day-to-day would be like doing harm reduction, to understand using naloxone on individuals who require it, to doing one-on-one counseling or therapy sessions, to relapse programs, and developing that kind of bond with my clients or residents, depending on their circumstances. So it's still something that I respect Willis College for teaching me a lot on, because the education was so point on to what I actually did in the real world. You know, when they normally say theories don't match up the experience, but this program at Willis College really matched up to what I was doing in the real world.
Well, that's awesome, Jessica. Thank you so much. Megan, you're about halfway through the program now. You've been with us for about 4 or 5 months, right?
I'm into my 4th course now.
Wow. And it is mental health that you're just started. Yeah. Well, tell me a little bit about your experience with us, because you did all those joyous computer courses and then you moved into the core programs of ACSW. Tell me a little bit about that.
I was nervous with the online program anyway, because I wasn't that great with computers. So like the actual computer part of it helped me a lot. Then once I got into the program, I was like, oh no, I know all these people now from the previous, and now I go into my actual course. Once I got into the course, I have Elena. It was amazing. Like amazing. She was very welcoming. So was the class. I had people from the class add me to Facebook, so I wasn't so anxious. And the dynamic of the classroom is really great, because everybody has like a shared opportunity to speak. So nobody's talking over anybody, and everybody's getting their voice to be heard, and everybody feels welcome. So I didn't think I would make any kind of interpersonal connections with the online learning, of course, because it's online. But I actually made like a few really great friends in just 4 months now. So it's a very great experience.
Good. I'm so glad. So for any of our guests, if you'd like to ask a question of our panel today, you have a couple of options. You can unmute and just verbalize your question. We'd be happy to hear your beautiful voice. Or if you're a little bit shy, you can type it into the chat box and I will see it and be happy to verbalize it out, and we'll get some answers to your questions. Because right now, all of the questions are coming from me, And I'm supposed to know them, but I really don't. So it's nice to hear the girls tell me. Super happy. Shelley, tell me a little bit. You're in the medical office program. And I know the program really, really, really well. Tell me a little bit about your instructor and what she does to keep you engaged in the medical office program.
Well, I found that all my instructors were awesome through the soft skills, which is the computer skills, and through the business side of stuff and the communications. But when I got into my core program, which is the medical side, I have Amanda Orr, and she's a nurse, and she's so knowledgeable and so professional. She is accommodating. When I first started with her, because I did all my other programs first, and then I started with the core program, and she already had a bunch of students, and I was feeling a little left out because there's only 4 of us who moved over into a class of like 20, and I was like, oh my God, she knows everybody. She doesn't, she's not communicating with us and stuff. But as soon as you started, I started communicating with her and saying I feel a little uncomfortable or a little overwhelmed with the next part of the program, and she totally reaches out. Always keeps in touch. I mean, I find the instructors very professional. I'm really glad she's a nurse. We're basically learning nursing, and we're just doing medical office admin. I mean, I feel like I could be a nurse, right? I could move on. And by the way, I'm an older woman. I've worked 24 years, and I decided to go back to school. And I find Willis was like the best option I could have made, because I'm like 49, just to put it out there. And going back to school at 50 years old is not easy.
Age is just a number, Shelley.
I know.
So I do have a couple of questions that came in. So let me just take a quick peek here. Katrina, thank you, Katrina. Katrina says, for someone in addictions, let's pick who we've not heard from for a while. You know what, Bethany, let's have you answer this one for me. What is your favorite course so far and why?
Ooh, that's a hard one, because quite honestly, I loved every single one of them. But I have to say, Intro to Psychology. That one, because it's a bit technical and sciencey and geeky, and that's just me. I love knowledge. I love just taking it all in, learning all the different parts of the brain and why it does what it does. And it just, to me, I really liked that course, and it kind of helped me go, oh, that's what that's called. Okay, cool. And it was really fun. But that's the top of my head. That was probably my favorite.
I love that. Thank you. What about you, Stephanie? What's your favorite program so far?
So far for me, I think it might have been probably family development. What was that? What was that called again? Family development and dysfunction.
And function.
I like that one a lot. I like learning about like the socialization of children and stuff, mainly not mainly, but a big time because of with COVID and everything going on right now. I think it was like a really big thing to like understand how big the socialization of children and people is. Like it was that was, I think, my favorite one.
Okay. I that makes perfect sense to me. Just Karan, now that you're done, you can look back on all the courses that we teach in the 48 weeks of the program. Which one was your favorite?
Relapse prevention was my favorite. I think it helped me so much in my current job, because as addiction workers, that's something you deal with all the time. Just today I had a client relapse, and helping develop that plan with him was amazing, because we worked together to find something that could make sure that even if he does relapse, there's like safety precautions put in place to making sure that he understands what happens in a relapse to what happens in a withdrawal matter. So that course, hands down, my favorite.
Awesome. That's amazing. I think some of you probably have that course coming up soon, so you may not have done that one yet, but I know it's one of my favorites as well. So that's really cool. What about the medical office? Does anyone want to tell me about a favorite course in medical office? Janessa, do you have a favorite medical office course that you took?
I have a couple. I really enjoy transcription. That was I I know you didn't like it, Shelley, but I really enjoyed it. But I guess that falls back to me and my call center careers. I also like terminology. I liked how we found out where medical words weren't just actually made up.
They derived from somewhere.
They actually came from someplace, and why certain words put together mean a certain profession or whatever. So I really enjoyed that.
And as a former healthcare instructor and worker, medical terminology was my absolute favorite thing ever. And I absolutely love doctor's orders. That was one of my favorite
That
things.
was interesting, especially trying to read your writing.
I wrote them.
Those are
make
fun.
it challenging. So we do have another question that came in that says, when can you start the addictions course? Barb, that's a fabulous question. I am actually going to ask Wafa to take control of that for us. Wafa, when is the next start for the addictions program? And how do we get into the addictions program? That might be a really good thing to talk about too while we're here.
Of course, for sure. Hello, everyone. Both programs for medical office and the addictions program will start January 31st. Both will have the minimum admissions requirements, which is an entrance assessment, which will be sent to you by your advisor. And once that's successfully completed, you will send your ID, and then we can send you the enrollment contract for that. The tuition for the addictions program is $15,515. which includes all of your ebooks and certifications, which is a nonviolent crisis intervention, suicide prevention, and CPR. And the medical office admin includes your ebooks and CPR, and that one is $13,595.
Awesome, thank you, Wafa. And you stole my next question. I was about to ask about those certifications that we offer. So we offer some really fabulous certifications in nonviolent crisis intervention, assist, and CPR first aid. Jas Karan, I bet you've used some of that nonviolent crisis intervention training already, haven't you?
Yep. It actually was the bonus to me getting my job, because I had these certificates. It was so quick. They were like, perfect. We don't have to go through it all over again. You got it. We can get you on board.
And that's often the way, is that it used to be that employers had to make sure that they put you through all of those workshops. And now employers have asked us to do that ahead so that you're totally ready to be employed when you go in the field. And that's made a massive difference for our higher rates here at Willis College Online. So we're really excited about that. So another question has come in, and I actually think, Jas Karan, I'm going to ask you this question because you're working, and it says, I have a physical disability. Is there a lot of physical conditions for the addictions course?
It depends on your environment, because I work with youths from 16 to 25. There is a lot of physical activity, and because my tasks are not just counseling, it's also I have to lift things or donations or drive around places to make sure I could pick up, like, food for them, and like there's a lot of other tasks that come, and it depends on your disability. If you're able to do the tasks that are at least the minimum requirement, it shouldn't be much of an issue, but it all depends on the environment as well. I have, at my place, we have 5 floors, right? And I usually use the stairs most of the time than the elevator, because it's just convenient for me to run up down the stairs. And at a place with young kids, they are very, I would say, active. So you have to be on top of that. Like, it is a lot of moving around.
So Robert, I think for the course itself, there's no physical conditions whatsoever, because you're at home on your computer joining class. And it really depends where you want to go after you get your diploma and what sort of area you want to work in. and knowing your own restrictions, we would be able to work on that for you, so that we can make sure that you're set up into a practicum site that doesn't limit you.
I'm a PSW
Okay.
by trade. And unfortunately, because of my medical conditions right now, I can't work as PSW. So I'm looking for another option.
Absolutely.
That could still help people. So
many options with addiction.
So Robert, I was a PSW as well. And that's a young person's job. And like I said, I'm almost 50. And so I decided to take my administrative side that I worked in the government and the medical side that I worked and put it in an MOA. So you work in a medical office, but you could work in you can work in a hospital. You can work anywhere with an MOA. It's more office work than opposed to physical work. But you're still working with clients. So that's why I decided to go back into this. So that might be an option. That's why I was thinking about PSW myself, and I was like, oh, that's that's a lot of lifting and carrying, and and it's very physical. And I loved it.
Very physical.
I loved it. My favorite job of all, I worked for the government for 20 years. I'm in Ottawa, so feds, hated it. But did 3 years of working at a retirement home, loved it. But found I'm getting older, and I have medical conditions as well. So I figured, okay, I got to combine these two. So
Robert,
I want to look at that.
Just to let you know, one of the places that I had applied to for my placement was in an office type setting. So it's more intake, more talking with clients. I have a heart condition and some chronic pain. So I can't work in a group home, but that's not going to stop me from being an effective addictions and community service worker. Yeah. So there are options like I really don't want to butcher your name. Jazz Karen. Yes.
You can say Jazz for sure.
Jazz. Okay. Thank you. Just like she was saying, it depends on the environment, I would imagine. I'm 3 months before I finished the course and go into placement. So I'm still relatively new into what to expect. However, that is an option there for you. So
I just wanted to say one more thing. When you do apply, they give you a job description, because my job, it said like they required me to lift at least 20 pounds a day, like throughout my job description. So I guess when you are looking at the job, just make sure you read through those requirements, because it is really, they list it and they tell you if it's mandatory or not.
That's awesome. I think it's Alex. You had a question about your CPR. We would absolutely give you credit for that, Alex. You don't have to repeat it. There's no point doing it twice. You already have it. We wouldn't make you do it again.
Exactly. I just got it a month ago, and I'm like, am I gonna have to do that again?
Oh, not at all. But you'll really like the non-violent, and the assist is really, really cool. Oh, I think they did. I think they left. They did. Yay, I made it work. Look at me. All right. Do we have any other questions that might be going on that we can help you with? We're here to help. Ask us, ask us, ask us. That's what we're doing. Meg, do you want to tell us a little bit about where you might want to go when you do your practicum and hopefully into a fabulous new career? What's the direction that you're taking?
The further I get into the program, the more I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to work in harm reduction, if I want to work in a group home. I definitely want to get out there and work with addictions for sure, just with a lived experience. So that's my aim. But there are so many options, and I keep looking at the job postings in my area. I'm like, oh, I could do this. Oh, I could work with this foundation, or a new community center just opened in my neighborhood for youth, because my town is kind of small. So I was like, that is so cool. I could work there. So I'm really excited.
And that's one of the really great things about both these programs, the medical office and the addictions, is it just opens up so many options, right? For medical office, it could be a doctor's office, a specialist office, a chiropractor, a physiotherapy, acupuncture, almost any kind of medical office where you're going to be helping patients, which is really cool. And then addictions and community support, there's just a ton of options. So, and that's why there's so many pieces that we do in the course. There's 24 different courses that you'll take in this program, but it's so we can give you a touch point on so many different areas. Stephanie, do you have an idea of where you might want to go at the end?
Yeah, I've actually already talked to a couple places, and I'm aiming to go work with the John Howard Society, and working with their youth group, which is ages 12 to 24. So that's kind of where I'm aiming towards. I want to help with addictions, and teenagers and young adults, and any way I can.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Jessica, you wanted to say something else?
Yeah, so during my program with Willis College, I actually found there was an opportunity that I found on Indeed. It was for student placement. It was like for students. It wasn't like a student placement. They were hiring students for addiction positions. They were paying a minimum wage for, I think I did it for roughly about, it was an 8 weeks with this company. So that kind of helped me. So when it was 6 months into Willis, I got this opportunity that I found on Indeed. So there are opportunities that you guys can do throughout your school years. You just have to keep looking through Indeed to find student work that can also pay you and give you that experience. And at that time, COVID was there. So I got to do that experience at home. So it was dealing, instead of youth, I was working more with adults and addictions, but like through video timing and harm reduction. So always look out for those kind of opportunities on Indeed as well.
That's awesome. Thank you, Jessica. There is a question from Barb that says, how many courses do you do at a time? Megan, how many courses do we do at a time?
We just do one at a time. So, and it depends on the week. So, and it's great. So you can fully focus on that course. Because that was a question I had when I was initially coming in as well, is like, how was the course load going to play out for me with the flexibility too? So they focus on one course, whether it be 1 week, 2 weeks, some are 4 weeks, like counseling techniques. And then, like I said, then you move on to the next course. You focus on that course for however the duration is, and so on and so forth.
Nice. And that's exactly why we do it. We let you concentrate on the one thing we want you to learn. You learn that, you do the exam, you move on to the next thing. So we're just constantly building the skills, and we've grouped everything together. So Megan mentioned counseling techniques. We do counseling techniques, mental health, psychopharmacology, all in a row together, because it allows us to make sure that you're learning everything and building on each thing. So we're really excited about that.
It's actually
now
amazing because if you think of other universities, colleges, it's usually like 5 or so, like all at once. And for me, I was squirrely, you know, it was very hard for me to focus because I was, I want to, you know, and I was just very distracted, overwhelmed. And Willis is the best learning environment because it's one at a time. I've retained much more than I ever have. And that's I love that about that one course at a time.
I agree with what you were saying. Sorry, Bonnie, to cut you off. Because they always have this idea that if you go to university, you'll end up probably making more money because it's a degree. With this program, I actually probably got the top scale as an addiction specialist at a pay level. So it doesn't matter where you get your education, it always matters if you can obtain the information from it. So that's why Willis College, doing one course at a time, you're obtaining the information 10 times better than having multiple courses at once.
Awesome. I want to see if any of you will talk about the start of your experience. So what's the very first thing you had to do before you even came to class? You had to talk to someone in admissions, right? So how scary was that, Janessa? Was it a good experience? Maybe don't tell me who your advisor was, because if you have a bad review, I'm going out to get them.
It was Rosie.
Tell me about how.
She answered all my questions. It was really easy to reach out to her. She like if I can only email her, then she said, fine, that's fine. Let's just do emails, you know. She was really to the point, got all my answers questions, and like I had just called to get information, and then that same day I was signed up. So
nice. Like that.
Same thing that happened to me. I called the day I said I wanted more information. I got a message and I was on the road a week
Yeah.
later.
And then afterwards you were like, what just happened?
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. I went from looking into it to I'm enrolled. So
yeah, hey, I'm a student now at 38. Yay.
Did we, was the experience easy? Was it hard
Oh,
to
yeah.
talk
It
to
was easy.
admissions and get through the process, or?
It was really simple. It was like walk
Very
through,
easy.
like laid back, chill.
That's
But
how it should be.
by the end of it, you're like, okay, what just happened though?
yeah, you're like shocked. It's so fast.
Yeah, it was so easy.
Because it's so easy.
Yeah, after high
I'd
school,
waffle
I had
and-
such a hard time trying to get into college. But this time around, it was just like, no, there should be something else happening here. Like, what's going on?
Oh, I know they want your dental records and all that in other universities, but it's I agree, Janice. The moment it happened, I'm like, wait, did I think this? Like, what happened?
Did this just happen? Am I going back to school and my kids are like, what?
It was
So,
very easy.
My hardest thing was getting my my Ontario student number.
Yes, that can be a bit.
And then
a bit
after I
difficult.
went through that rigmarole, but Rosie ended up helping with that. She got it like right like that, but as I was doing it, was like this one big rigmarole.
What's
And
an
then I ended up
Ontario
finding
What's an
my
Ontario
old,
student number?
if you have your old
High school?
diplomas, yeah, from high school, not diplomas, but
Transcripts.
yeah,
transcripts?
it would be on there. It's just your number that the government assigned you when you first started school.
I never got asked for that.
You might have been too
Old?
like,
Thank
yeah,
you.
you're welcome.
I love
Hey,
you,
Kelly, you know that.
I know.
It's been a long time since I was able to bug you.
So have any of you, and I think there's a few of you who have been through the career management program and had the opportunity to do a resume, do some interview skills, get ready for what lies ahead? Has anyone done that yet? I know, Jeff Karan, you had to do that, of course, before we got you ready to go. Has anyone else done that yet?
I'm almost there.
I've done
Yeah,
it.
really close
I
to
did
everything.
the interviews and the writing your resume. God, I haven't had to rewrite my resume for when was the last time? 2014, I think, was when I got my job at BSW. And I was like, where is that? I pulled it up and I was like, oh my God. But that's why I also loved, because I hadn't been in the government since 2011. I learned all my soft skills. So all the new computer, I mean, everybody thinks they know Word and this and that, but they change every 6 months. So I got all updated on all those skills. I didn't know how to use Zoom. I didn't know how to use anything. And I loved Willis College for that, giving me that, reminding me, bringing me back to, oh yeah, I was always good at these things, but I was not up to date. So, being older and going back to school, big bonus. I really like that part.
So there's another new thing that we've developed with Willis Online, and you're all already in school, so you don't need this anymore. But for our brand new students starting on the 31st of January, they're going to be getting what we're calling the Virtual Toolkit. And the Virtual Toolkit, you get about 10 days before you start school. So you get lots of time to play around in it. And really, we're calling it a sandbox. And it's laid out exactly like you would find your classroom, except you can't hurt anything. You just get to play with it, click on it, see what it does, practice opening a Zoom, practice sending an assignment, doing a quiz. There's some computer skills in there. There's some Q&A. There's some frequently asked questions about being in school. So there's a really great place to get familiar with everything before, bang, your first day of school and you have to know it all. So we've made this fabulous new virtual toolbox that we give out at orientation, which is 10 days before the start date. And you just get to play around in there and really get to figure out what this whole school thing is going to be like. So, Shelley,
I want to add to that, because I'll tell you, because I'm not as technically savvy as I used to be. There were things like SAM, you offer tons of programs that I had to download them. I was like, oh my God, how do I use this? How does this work? So there was SAM, your virtual, your textbook, even something as simple as opening an electronic textbook. I was like, oh my God, where do I go? I had to create accounts for everything, Evolve, all those things. Your typing, anything you do, it's such a learning tool. I feel like I'm maybe 50, but I can go out and be like 20 again. Yeah.
Of course you can.
I can go out and interact with the virtual world. I mean, my kids are tech whizzes. I used to come help mom. And they're like, oh, you're so annoying, mom. I can't help you. Just, but now I'm like, I don't need you. So lots of things that, technical things that really, if I want to continue in the workforce, this is awesome tools that I wouldn't get anywhere else.
Megan, you intimated a little bit earlier that you and computers are not the best of friends. And I totally understand that. Tell me a little bit about those first few weeks and having to navigate the computers. Did you feel supported? Did you feel like we were able to give you everything that you needed in that first few weeks as you figured out how to download Microsoft and open Zoom and all of those fun things that you have to do that week?
Oh, definitely. I had Matt as an instructor, and I could have went to him for absolutely anything at all. He answered any questions I had. He made sure that we weren't scared of soft skills and that he was there to answer the questions if we needed to. But not only that, within the first 3 days, I was more comfortable with technology than I ever have been, because I was using it more. So the more I used it, the way more comfortable I got. And I was actually saying the other day with Moodle, at first, when I was submitting assignments, I'm like, oh my God, did I do that right? I was going back and triple checking and quadruple checking to make sure it was submitted. And now I'm just like, submitted, sign it, move on. It's like second nature now, compared to being so anxious and overwhelmed in the beginning. But for support, the support was always there. I could have messaged absolutely anybody and asked a question and it would have been answered. And I know that for a fact.
Excellent. Thank you, Megan.
I just want to thank you for inviting me. I've got to go and get some food into me. So
no problem. It's been a pleasure to have you, Robert. If there's anything else we can do, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to whoever your advisor is, or myself.
It's Diane.
Or Diane is here. She'd be thrilled to chat with you anytime. So please don't hesitate. Okay.
Okay.
Good luck, Robert.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I wanted to touch a little bit. First of all, is there anyone else with questions? Krista, you joined us a little bit late. Do you have any questions that we can answer for you? Isabel, do you have any questions? We're absolutely here to help. You can type them, or you can verbalize if you're comfortable. Completely up to you.
Okay, thank
you. Let me touch a little bit on instructor office hours, the one thing I forgot to talk about at the beginning. So while we do teach 10 hours of live lecture a week, 5 days at 2 hours, and all of those lectures are recorded, which is really, really cool because you get to go back and look at them if you have any questions. There's also 15 hours of instructor hours a week. That means that you can make an appointment to see your instructor. You can take 5 minutes of their time. You can take an hour of their time. It's your time to talk to your instructor. Of my panel with me today, how many of you have utilized instructor hours in your time with me? I'm happy to see all of you did, because you should. That's why they're there. They're there to support you. They're there to make sure that if you have a question about an assignment, or you saw a lecture you didn't understand, or sometimes even if we just need to vent, talk, have a conversation, that's the office hours. That's why they're there, and they're super flexible. Stephanie, tell me, how accessible is it to get to your instructor? Do you have to wait for days and days before they respond to you?
It's as simple as shooting Alina a text. Alina's my instructor. And then within a few minutes, sometimes depending on the toddler situation, 20 minutes at max. And then it's as simple as clicking on a link to the office hours. It's just you and her. And she makes it that way to discuss anything. And it's amazing.
Awesome. Awesome. Jessica, did you ever use office hours with your fabulous instructor? I know you had my best, just the most amazing Lori. Tell me about some experience with Lori.
Amazing. It's Lori. Even after, now that I'm a graduate, I still contact Lori and she's still available. We've had conversations on how I can excel in my career further and different ideas, and she's just like, all the instructors are phenomenal. They're very active in our learning experience, so which is great, and they're always there, always, no matter when it is, what time of day. I'm in Ontario and it's time difference, she's still there.
Awesome. That's good to hear. And I hope that's not just with instructors, because remember, we do have our student coordinators to help you. Myself, I would reach out to a student anytime that you needed me. I hope all of you already know that. And the support that we want to provide is the support that we hope that you can all use in your daily life as well. And sometimes it's not just about academics. Sometimes it's just about life, because life can be annoying. We just have a question, shall we? Just hang on. Oh, Krista, that's awesome to hear. So Krista's going to be starting the course, and she was a little bit worried about support, but she does feel better now. So that's good. So Krista, just so you know, we do have 2 student coordinators, one dedicated to health, one dedicated to IT. They'll be the people you'll meet at orientation. They're going to help you with the virtual toolkit. They're going to be there in your first night, and then you get to meet your class and your instructor and your instructor hours. I usually pop in to annoy the instructor every now and again and check in on students. And there's lots of us around to always add support. But we are adding a brand new program at the end of the month called peer-to-peer support. And I'm actually hoping my panel today might be among my first set of volunteers for this program, including Jas Karan, because what we're hoping to do is set up new students with a peer that's come through some of the program already. So in the first week, you have someone to reach out to when you're having those moments of panic and wonder about whether or not this is the right place to be, and you have someone to help you. And then as you get closer to practicum and a whole new set of anxieties come in, you're going to have some people who've gone through practicum and who are employed to help you with that as well. So that's our brand new peer mentoring program that's coming in on January 31st. So we're super excited. So Janessa, Megan, Meg, Stephanie and Shelley, I'll be reaching out to all of you to support me in this new program. So we're pretty excited about that as well. Is there any other questions that we might have? We're coming almost to the top of the hour. We have about 10 minutes left tonight, and I want to make sure that we've answered all of your questions. Please feel free to type it in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer them. Isabel, do you have a question?
I don't know how to type it.
It's okay. You can just say it. We're here. We'll be happy to listen. Of course. Yes.
Okay, good. Hi, everyone.
Hi. And I think she just went.
I'm still here.
Oh, there you are. Okay, hang on. Why didn't I get you over there? I hate breakout rooms. They drive me insane. Hang on. There you are. Rosie.
Hi, Rosemary. I didn't realize it was you that I've been talking with when I first signed up for school. That's great. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Bonnie doesn't want to send me somewhere else.
I know. She's being... Oh, Bonnie.
Oh, Bonnie. Who are you? Is she sending herself somewhere else?
She sent herself.
She sent herself.
Yeah. She did. Don't worry. We're all technically well
The
educated.
joy of technology.
Hey, yay.
Sent myself to the breakout room. That was
We figured it out.
Welcome back.
like, hello, it's just me. Rosie, it's not letting me.
Well,
select
I was in the breakout room earlier, so you can do it now.
You can do it. You
won't let
can
me-
do it.
It won't let me move you for some reason.
You can't get rid of me.
Give me just a second. While I'm playing with this, because now I just look like I might not be all that technically able, and I'm not, just for the record. We're gonna have, I want each of you to talk about, if you had to rate Willis Online in a 1 to 10, where would you put us? Jas Karan, we'll start with you.
Give me 1 second. Okay. So I'm going to be honest. I was in a private college prior to this, and that experience was horrible. So when I came into this, I was like, okay, let's give it another chance. And it exceeded my expectation. I put it at a 10. Like, I got a job in an industry that I absolutely love. I got the well education that I needed, and we'll see where else it takes me. But it was because of Willis College and the instructors and the support and everyone that really got me to where I am. So 10 out of 10.
Thank you, sweetie. Megan, what would you do for us?
Oh,
And you're-
10 definitely.
Oh, thank you, Megan.
Same thing. I was at another institution before this, and it was not very flexible at all. It was very standard guidelines, and this same thing exceeded all my expectations. I didn't think I would learn as much online, but I've definitely learned more than I could have ever expected already.
Awesome. Thank you. Meg, what do you think?
I also have to say a 10. I also have Lori as an instructor, and she is amazing. She just helps us blossom and just expand our brain into learning different ways, and I really appreciate it. So just 10.
Okay, sorry, I was talking with
with
Isabel,
me.
and suddenly it takes me back here. It takes
Yeah.
us back here.
I'm going to say a 10 too, but for the reasoning, like I'm a single mom, and I have my toddler with me all the time, every day. I don't have the time without him. And it's so like, why I love this so much. It's so flexible. You know, sometimes he's in the video and like my classmates don't mind, you know, it's not a big deal to them.
I would love it. I love babies.
Yeah, he's crazy. But it's been really good for that. I also, like, at the beginning of my course, like, I got COVID, and like I had to take some time off for that. And you know, they've been so good and helping me and be right there with me that it's been on really good for me.
Awesome. I love to hear that. Janessa.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to say a 10 too. Like, it's been awesome. Anytime I needed to reach out to my instructors, like Amanda was there, both Amandas. I had two Amandas back to back.
Yep.
They were, anytime I reached out to them for anything, they were like right there to help me out. Even staying after class. Amanda, or she always took the time to help us out. Yeah, it's just everyone's so open.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so
Easy to
much.
reach out to, and I haven't really experienced that in a long time.
Good. So for our guests, if you look down in the bottom of your screen for Zoom, you'll see a little button that says reactions. What I want you to do is hit reactions and give me a thumbs up if you think coming to Willis College Online is something you would love to do. Alex says yes. I love that. Krista, Charlene. Those are excellent. I love that. Barbie, thank you. We would love to have you. It would be my pleasure to have you all in school here with us. You will have amazing support from the girls here present and from myself. I want to know every student, and I want to know every student's success story as we get there. And I hope that all of our panel members today can agree to that, because hopefully they know that I truly care about how we get to our end result. It has been my pleasure. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to your advisor. You can find my email address on the Zoom invite as well, if necessary. And we would be thrilled to see you all very, very soon. Thank you for joining us today. Please be safe, and we'll see you all very soon.